So today I'm continuing along with what I was talking about on the last video, which is the things that you should leave behind when you move, especially to Spain and probably most of Europe, to tell the truth. Um, One of the reasons why IKEA is so popular in Spain and Europe is because they sell foldable and portable furniture. In addition to the fact that the doors here, I just measured our door and the hallway. Um, Even though they have high ceilings, the openings are usually about 6 foot, and that's it. And even though it may be the same size as we have in the US, there are little doors and hallways and things that are really narrow. So it's really hard to get furniture in and out of the place. So you end up having to not be able to put your furniture in the apartment. Actually, I always thought that if we were to start a business here, it would be like storage space for expats because a lot of people don't listen when you tell them not to bring their big items with them, and they do it anyway. I have friends that are still paying over 200 euros a month at the storage space in Valencia, and they have several different companies now, and they have a lot of depots across the country, really, like in the big cities like Barcelona. I mean, when we first got here, it seemed like there were just a few, but now you look up like their name and they're like they're everywhere because a lot of people need they need their furniture stored because they're in an apartment and they realize they can't get their wardrobes and all that stuff inside of the house, so they need some place to store them. I'm going to put up a picture here that you see. This is somebody trying to give away this gorgeous piece of furniture, which I would have loved to have, but it wouldn't have fit anywhere in our apartment because the space is not there. So these are the things that you don't think about because you assume that the space you're going to have will be as big as you did in the States, and it's just not the same. Now, in addition to the fact that it costs a lot to ship your stuff over here, like I said the last time, you also have to worry about the fact that it may not be temperature controlled. So you may spend all the money moving your stuff here, and then you end up getting screwed anyway because the furniture gets rotten. I mean, we had the same problem when we left some of our stuff in storage in the US in Houston. We were promised that it was temperature control, blah, blah, blah. But when we went back the following year or year and a half later, all our carpets and the rugs were ruined and moths and, so they were just useless. So we just paid a lot of money for nothing. So this is something that you need to think about seriously. Like this, I'm sure this lady ended up just taking an axe to that furniture, and because nobody is able to move it. And a lot of furniture that I think here, especially like in our place, I think they were like built in here, and once you get them in, you just leave it there. And that's why a lot of the apartments come furnished, because nobody really wants to go through the expenses of having to move out the furniture each time. So if you do want an unfurnished apartment, you'll find them. They're rare they're rare to find. But sometimes what I see the landlord do, if you want an empty apartment, they will just declare one of the rooms in the flat unusable, and they'll store all the furniture there so that when you leave, they can move it out again, but they're not going to move it out and then move it back in. One other thing I wanted to mention also is the size of the elevators. I'm going to show you a little video of what our elevator looks like. And this is pretty typical of the buildings. And our apartment was built, the building was built in 1970. So buildings even before that Most of them don't have an elevator, or they have a small one. You should see the elevator some of my friends, some of my friends have in their building. They are like half the size of the one we have. So here comes the elevator. This is the elevator. See, it's not very big. It's a big square. Okay, get in. Get in. Sometimes only one person can go up at a time. Or if it's two, it's a very tight squeeze, and you're just like, oh my God, because they're built, the buildings don't have elevators. They don't come with elevators. The older ones didn't. And they build up to 5 to 7 floors. So after a while, like the HOA, they decided they want to put an elevator in. So they just make out a little space they carve out a little space from the stairs. So where the handrails are, they just use that little space for the elevator to go up. So you can imagine how tiny it is. So now if you have a big furniture, you need people to move it up the stairs, assuming you have regular sized stairs. A lot of times it's like those little itty bitty ones that just curve around. So it's very hard to get stuff in there. And then also, if you're moving, you may be moving into the city center or one of the expat places with the nice buildings, but the nice older ones that don't have elevators, or very rickety elevators. So not only are the streets really narrow, you now have to get a permit for the truck to come in there, and you have to also find the movers that are going to move your stuff up several floors, whatever floor you're on, to get your stuff there. So a lot of people go to IKEA because you get the boxes that deliver it, and they build it in your apartment, or you build it yourself if you don't pay for that service. So that's why you see a lot of like contemporary looking places when you look online now for a lot of places, because the furniture is like that. You come in and you buy the stuff and then you build it in there. So anyway, I'm just letting you know this is something that you want to think about when you start thinking about bringing your stuff. Plus, you never even know how long you're going to stay in an apartment. I mean, for us, we moved every year basically because, we thought we liked this neighborhood. Then for some reason or the other, we didn't like it and we moved. So think about having to move all that stuff every single time you go somewhere else. And even if you rent a house, like when we lived in Sevilla, we rented a house. But once again, the doors are really small. A bedroom barely fit the queen size bed that we have. So like when we open the closet door, you got to do a little bump and to like move the bed a little bit and move the mattress a little bit to open it fully. And so these are inconveniences that sound like it's nothing until you're actually um, faced with it. So my friends, for instance, that have their storage things, they're paying about 260 because they move their whole house. They're paying 260 euros a month. And hopefully when they move to a place that they actually love, they'll be able to move from there. They will be able to move, that the furniture will actually fit into their place, because it happens very often that they don't fit. And so you're going to just have to keep them in storage or sell them. And you can't even sell them. Like this lady with the Mario that I showed you earlier, the cabinets, she couldn't sell it. First, she wanted 50 euros for it. Then she wanted 20. And then she said, give me anything and just take it. And still no taker. So it's not like it's not a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful antique piece, I would have loved to have it, but you just can't fit it into your own place. And I'm sure when they built it, they built, the furniture came and then they built the house around it, or it comes in two pieces. But even if it's two or three pieces, it's still a gigantic thing that will be a pain in the ass to move, because now you got to open the patio, if they have a balcony, you got to open the balcony doors and try and get it down there. And so she got no takers from everybody, in the community, even the ones with houses. So there you have it. One more reason why you should just leave your stuff behind and think about replacing, get as much money as you can there, or leave it to people, donate it, whatever, and just move the essential stuff that is portable. So there's my hint for you for this week. Thank you once again. And please, if you have any kids that will benefit from reading the books by Jade Collins, definitely please follow the link and get the book. It's an affiliate link, but I thank you. It's my friend. I made the video, so I'm really excited about that. But it's my friend's book, and I would love for her to have some business. And so I'm helping her out by talking about it on here. So thank you again for listening and for watching the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.